Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Just wanted to jump on today in honor of the cycles of the moon that we've been going through from before the new year and through this year. This is our first new moon of 2020, and the new moon is this time of planting seeds, so to speak. It's kind of a more inward time. You may even be feeling a little bit more inside, or maybe not wanting to be so social. And that's kind of a natural time of the month to feel that way. And it's the new moon is when you don't see the moon in the sky. So basically, if you have clear skies, you'll only see stars. You won't see a moon at all. And it's also a time to, as planting seeds are, it's a time of intention setting, or taking inventory of what intentions maybe you have going in your life, or qualities of those intentions that you'd like to strengthen or expound upon or altogether shift towards a different route. And so I kind of wanted to actually share with you my intention, so that way you have a better understanding. So from before this new year even started, I really wanted to focus on yogic studies, both for myself as a student, and then also as a teacher, teaching yoga more broadly, more widely, and also bringing these small little bits and pieces into Facebook and Instagram, and hopefully YouTube. So that was kind of a general overall intention that I had. And so I'm also deepening my yogic studies through doing another teacher training with a teacher that I really align with in Santa Monica at the Bhakti Yoga Shala. And part of that deepening of my own studentship is to also begin offering some of this philosophy and practice and meditation in a really practical way for people. To apply it into their own life, and to possibly even adopt as a lifestyle and or as a practice within their life. So basically, everything that I've learned through yoga and the philosophy and the practice has 100% benefited me every single time. There is not a part of anything that I have come across in my yogic studies that has led me astray. If anything, it always points me back to a deeper truth within myself. And it has always inspired me to live from a higher state of being, or to engage with my higher purpose, and to live that. And so basically part of 2020 for me is to bring these studies a little bit further and outward, and more towards an offering that can benefit more people. So that's kind of big, that's kind of broad. And so what we want to do is break that up into smaller chunks, and we can use the rhythms of the moon to do that. So I actually work currently with women doing body work. I work doing a specific modality that helps the womb and the abdomen, helps with fertility, helps with reproductive organs, their functioning, and I also use herbs to support that, and doing herbal recommendations. So for this, my intention for this new moon is actually to to create a sequence that includes meditation, asana, and a pranayama breathing technique that helps women, or helps the reproductive organs. I get a lot of questions about that, like, oh, is there yoga poses, or is there, is there meditation that I can do? And I'm like, yes, there are. And I point them in different directions, but I was thinking it would be an awesome opportunity to actually create some of these sequences to help support my clients that are actually asking for it. So that's a little bit about intention setting and how you can use your wider or your broader intention and break it down into smaller chunks and take a step towards that, and just see where you go. No pressure. Try to make the pieces as bite-sized as possible, so that way it doesn't feel like it's this huge overlooming task. I think that's the biggest sort of barrier to progress, is when the task is so huge and that first step seems really big too. It's really breaking it down into a more bite-sized step, so that way you can move forward productively, efficiently, happily, and be proud of yourself in the meantime. And so I wanted to bring in another style of meditation into our practice. We've been doing mainly what we call pranayamas, or breathing techniques, breath control, and that helps with slowing down the mind or focusing the mind. Basically, it said that if you can, the longer the breath, the less thought you will have. So the longer of the inhale and the exhale, it's as if all of the stream of your mind begins to also slow down, which creates a lot of peace in the body. And we all know that stress reduction and peace and that sense of well-being is really critical to our health. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, what mindfulness meditation can do. And in fact, this has actually been studied. Lots of science is studying it. It's a hot topic, so to speak, because it's something everybody can do, and it's accessible from whether you're a tiny little person to an older person. Any body, any age can begin practicing mindfulness meditation, and you actually need nothing to begin. You just need to sit and be still and breathe, and we all can do that. So just wrote down some of the benefits, so I'm just going to be glancing down. So stress reduction, that's huge. Lowered levels of anxiety, that's also huge. If we can just lower anxiety, there's a lot more creativity that can happen, right? We don't have these anxious thoughts running our forward in the forefront. We can really step back and be in a more creative space, which is awesome. Promotes emotional health. That's also very beneficial. Enhances self-awareness. How we are out in the world, how we're treating others, and how we're treating ourselves. May reduce age-related memory loss. That's awesome. Helps fight addictions. Mindfulness techniques are typically used even in rehabilitation centers for addictions. It's been a helpful tool for people to overcome whatever that little hiccup is, to help them to stop, pause that, and to reassess and then kind of redirect. So that's amazing. Improves sleep. That's awesome. Helps control pain. So if you have a lot of pain and you meditate, it can help you manage the pain better. Decreases blood pressure. Can generate kindness. This is probably my favorite one. And you can do it anywhere. And then there's another aspect of meditation that is basically, for me, a huge reason why I meditate, which is it seems to open the doorway or make this seemingly impossible thing possible, which is to connect to a higher sense of self or a higher purpose, or we can even go a little further than that, connect to, let's say, this creative aspect of our being. We call it many names. For some people, you might call it God or Creator or Spirit or the Divine Beloved. There's many, many names, but this higher sense of self, and truly that and the part about kindness are probably what keep me going and keep me motivated. Everything else has helped me as well. Like, I have had high levels of anxiety and depression. I've also have had addictive tendencies, and meditation and yoga have always helped me through these things. And I will say this too about generating kindness. There is a tenet in yoga called ahimsa, which is basically, it's basically something, I wouldn't necessarily call it a vow that you take, but it's more of this, it's an aspect of yoga philosophy that you begin to travel towards as you deepen not just your asana or the practice, like the physical part, but when you begin adopting some of these deeper truths about yoga, is that there is a whole wide range of philosophy and text that comes along with it, and literature. And there is this part of ahimsa which is non-harming. And when you really, really think about what non-harming is, it's kindness. It's demonstrating kindness to others, and it's demonstrating kindness to yourself. And I truly believe if we all can practice that one thing, regardless of any asana or any meditation, we are in fact creating a positive change within our own body and mind and in the wider world around us. And that is something to be celebrated for sure. So there's so much I could share about that, but if you are practicing kindness in your life, I'm going to say then you are practicing yoga. Okay, so let's say you don't know how to do any postures, and you're like, I'd really like to learn yoga. My response to you is like, have you been kind today? And if your answer is yes, then I would say you're practicing yoga. So take it easy on yourself. And it's not as difficult to enter once you realize that. It's like, oh, okay, I can do this thing called kindness. I can practice this towards myself and towards others. And that, in fact, you are beginning to practice mindfulness, meditation techniques, and yoga. All right, so let's get into the practice. So find a tall, or a seat, just find your seat, and you want to elongate your spine. And like I said, we're going to be doing a mindfulness-based practice, but to begin, it'll just be kind of helpful to settle into your seat, settle in to a comfortable position. You want to have a relatively straight spine. There's a natural curve in your spine, but you want it to be upright and elongated. And then just come into a really nice, gentle breath with an inhale and an exhale. And you might inhale for, let's say, 4 counts. So you're inhaling 2, 3, 4, and then exhaling 2, 3, 4. And let's do that again. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, and exhaling 2, 3, 4. And keep up that rhythm, just this nice even breath, just inhaling and exhaling. Very easy, it's very simple. There's nothing complicated about it. It helps to keep rhythm or keep pace with the counting. So if that helps you, just keep an even inhale and an even exhale for the next moments. And as you find that steadiness of breath, you can release the need to count and just settle into a natural breath. Settle into a natural flow with an inhale and the exhale. My thoughts might come and they'll probably go. And just redirect the mind back to noticing your inhale and your exhale. And I also find it really helpful to actually notice where the breath is coming in through the nose, the sensation of where the inhale is taking place in the nose, and then also where it is being exhaled through the nose, and just noticing the entirety of it. And as you notice these things, you can begin to relax a little bit more with your breath. You can begin to settle into a deeper sense of rest within the body. It's very easy to breathe and to sit. What is the challenging part is not engaging with the sometimes torrent of information that your brain has. So just making peace with the fact that the brain will think, that's its job. And there's a part of you that is witnessing all of that activity. Just see if you can come in contact with that witnessing part of you, witnessing part of your awareness. It's simply watching, it's not judging, it's not controlling. It's just watching, it's just observing. There's no evaluation, it's just aware. And feelings and thoughts may arise through this process, and that's okay. And they'll also go. There's this sort of wave of sometimes thoughts, sometimes feelings, various states of emotion. And then there's this other part that's watching it all. Begin tuning into that observer or witness to all of it. And just as we entered into meditation, you can begin to deepen your breath. You can keep your eyes closed, but just begin the process of wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, taking a nice long deep inhale, letting it out the mouth. Inhaling deep. Exhaling through the mouth. And then just blink your eyes open if they're not already. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me on this meditation, and I hope that I wish you well with your intentions and what it is that you're trying to cultivate and dive deeper into in your life. My prayer is that you can cultivate your dreams and your wishes and bring more beauty into your life and into the world and the planet at large. Namaste.